ahead and get started. Thank you, VK. Um, First, just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. Um, we'll get into some additional details about the ShawU district RFQ. Before we do that, I'll just take a quick second to introduce myself, as well as some representatives from both Hyatt Brown and Shaw University who are present on the call or maybe joining us at some point. So my name is Michael English. I'm a senior associate with Hyatt Brown. I've been with the company for about 3 months, so fresh out of graduate school at UNC, and kind of jumping into, for me personally, one of my dream projects to be able to work with the HBCU. As an HBCU grad, I've been in Durham, in this Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area for a good little while now, since about 2008. So it's a lot of synergies and kind of full circle moments in participating in this project. So excited to be with you all and look forward to interacting with you throughout this process. Also on the Hyatt Brown side, I believe my colleague Dawn Pitts has joined. She's a director over at Hyatt Brown who is also working on this project, and we may be joined by our managing director, Jay Brown, a little later, but if not, he sends his regards. On the Shaw University side, we have Kevin Sullivan, is the VP of Real Estate and Strategic Development for Shaw University. Kevin, if you want, you can pop off and say a few things if you like. If not, I can keep going.
I'll make it brief and just welcome everyone. And just say, well, Michael's only been with Hyatt Brown for 3 years. And he looks young. He actually has many years under his belt with real estate development. So he's new to Hyatt Brown, but he's not new to this field. So
thank you, Kevin. And then we also have Yvonne Lewis Holly on the Shaw University side, who will be acting as the community liaison for this ShawU district project. All right, so we'll kind of get into it. Just some added details about kind of our goal here today, isn't to kind of restate everything that's mentioned in the RFQ process. We did, however, want to just use this as an opportunity to introduce ourselves, and then maybe add some added context around the RFQ, as well as just kind of highlighting kind of the process that has gotten us to the point we are in today, and kind of our outlook going forward over the next couple of months. So just a bit of background. Again, this is information that you already have that is mentioned in the RFQ, but bears repeating. That Shaw is the first HBCUs in the South as well. They have a significant amount of other firsts as well, being the first university with a 4-year medical program, the first university to admit women into their university, and the first HBCU to receive an A rating by the State Department of Instruction. The university recently celebrated its 150th year anniversary back in 2015. So kind of given that broad and deep history that the university has, the university leadership, began to strategize ways to continue the vision to ensure that the university maintains and thrives throughout the next 150 years. So, on the heels of, some of those strategic exercises, the university decided to take the initial step to, look towards that long-term vision and create a campus that will be vibrant over the next 150 years. And so the university engaged ULI as a part of that initial step to pull together a panel, ultimately with the goal to help the university figure out how to kind of unleash the land value that the university has. So the key directive for the panel was to identify land use and real estate strategies, placemaking strategies, capital formation strategies, ultimately with the idea of leveraging the land value to support the core mission of the university. Some of the key takeaways that resulted from that panel and from that report was for the university to leverage its real estate assets to support its core mission and operations, as well as strengthen relationships and forge new relationships. Being located in the RDU area, the opportunity for building relationships, but also reestablishing relationships is key in this process. And then kind of the final takeaway was to build university capacity and pursue real estate opportunities. And so on the heels of the recommendation from the Urban Land Institute, Shaw University decided to kind of build capacity through hiring Kevin, and then Kevin was able to hire Hyatt Brown as an advisory to Shaw University and the Real Estate and Strategic Development Office at the university. Here, we're just looking at kind of a development pipeline that kind of dates back to that engagement, that initial step, that initial engagement with the Urban Land Institute, which was followed up by kind of some of this capacity building efforts by the university that I just mentioned through hiring Kevin, Kevin bringing on Hyatt Brown to act as real estate advisory for the university, but then also steps including the rezoning process, submitting that application, being awarded the rezoning to present day releasing of the RFQ, and then kind of a forward-looking milestone of completing and finalizing this RFQ, which we anticipate to be done potentially next year, fall of next year. So just a kind of an outline of what got us here to this day, and then we'll kind of go into a little bit of context around some of these other events. So, after, engaging with Hyatt Brown and Shaw University and leveraging some of the findings from the ULI study, a key takeaway of that process was, helping the university establish some development goals that would guide the next steps in this long-term real estate and placemaking vision. And so what we have pictured here, which is also included in the RFQ, just kind of highlights, the development goals that will act as guardrails for the university as we continue to move through this process. So just to quickly highlight it, decided to put these into three distinct buckets: the real estate program, the mission and the values of the university, and then lastly, leveraging partnerships to kind of see all of this through. So also, as a result of that collaboration between, Hyatt Brown and Shaw University, kind of the initial next steps following the capacity building was to essentially rezone the entire about 27-acre campus footprint of the university to allow for increased density. Not sure if folks, have been following the rezoning case prior to hearing about this RFQ. But essentially, Shaw submitted the application asking for the maximum density allowed. We went through a process of negotiating with the community, or engaging the community, but also making a few amendments to the application that ultimately resulted in the university being awarded up to density of up to 30 stories. And then also, throughout that rezoning process, just really kind of reinforce the magnitude of this type of project, right? We were able to engage with stakeholders and community members to really understand, how much Shaw as a university means to the community, but also, their individual relationship with the footprint that the university has. So constant engagement with community members, Shaw alum, preservationists, HBCU advocates, throughout that process, really left with a clear kind of reinforcement of how impactful a project of this magnitude can be and will be for Shaw University and the city of Raleigh and Raleigh, North Carolina in general. So, and that kind of leads us to kind of where we are today with the solicitation. After being awarded the rezoning and the increased density, the university wanted to shift its focus to this master planning process. And so, our goal is to kind of create a document that will guide the physical development needed to support the ShawU district vision. I highlighted a key point here as well, is that, our goal is for the master plan process to be a collaborative effort. We want to make sure that we have public input, but, our outcome of this RFQ process and the master plan document is for this master plan to, not only include kind of the visioning exercise and the pictures and kind of the narrative of the university and the ShawU district, but we want it to be kind of rooted in market realities and build it around kind of this market feasible framework to make sure that some of the recommendations that are included in this master plan are something that can be executed on by the university kind of immediately after wrapping up this exercise. And so just wanted to kind of drive that point home that, we want, kind of all the bells and whistles of the master plans that we've seen. And if you're anything like me, I've read for fun, but we do want to make sure that these recommendations are rooted in kind of current market realities going forward. And so, our goal is that the MP, the master plan, should, set the vision for, this live, work, learn, play destination in downtown Raleigh. Our approach and how we've been talking about it internally is thinking about this as a district master plan with an HBCU at its core. And so, if you're familiar with the Raleigh area, we want to ensure that, the ShawU district essentially adds to some of the downtown district offerings in downtown Raleigh. There are official or unofficial districts in downtown Raleigh, these pockets of activity, points of interest, like Glenwood Avenue and the Warehouse District. Our long-term vision for the ShawU district is to, kind of add to that, but also kind of complement the existing districts and provide some connectivity between these points of interest and pockets of activity that exist within the downtown area. So yeah, looking kind of specifically at some of the criteria within the RFQ, just wanted to highlight this and kind of pull this out specifically. What you see here is kind of it listed in the RFQ, but it's listed in kind of order of importance. And so how we plan on kind of evaluating each team is based on kind of a best value process. Each responder will be evaluated based on their technical merit and the factors listed below. One thing I do want to kind of call out specifically is our estimates around fee and proposed project schedule. These estimates aren't, what we want to hold respondents to, but these are some of the estimates that we came up internally based on our view of the scope of work and what we would need from each respondent. And so you'll see a range listed here for both under the fee category and as well as the proposed project schedule category. Right. So here are just a few key dates. mean, believe it or not, it's August 1st, 2023. So we are really in the thick of this RFQ process. So having our pre-proposal meeting today, we'll have 2 site visits later this week. And as you can see, we have our, kind of Q&A deadline and response time frame. So feel free to reach out to both Kevin and myself with any questions that you may have. And we plan on getting answers back to you as soon as possible, but by the latest August 14th. And then lastly, the proposal due date would be August the 24th, I believe by 3 p.m. So please have those sent in to Kevin and myself by that date. I do have an asterisk here around the notification of the award is technically to be determined, but and Kevin, let me know if I'm getting too ahead of myself here, but we do plan on entering into negotiations, if all goes to plan, with a potential firm by early to mid-September. Is our internal goal to be able to have a firm in mind that we want to begin negotiations with. And then lastly, just wanted to highlight a few, potential outcomes, that signal success for Shaw University. I think I speak for the entire team when I say that this is a pretty important project, just given the history of Shaw University in the city of Raleigh, but in the entire landscape of higher education. We want to ensure that we not only do right by our immediate stakeholders, but also kind of external stakeholders as well. And so these are some of the things that we've identified, will ensure that we're moving in the right direction. If we do everything correctly, these are some of the things that will signal success for us. And so, this idea of creating an environment that attracts and retains students for the university is extremely paramount for Shaw University and its core mission. Also cultivating this live, work, learn, play environment for our students and the community at large. Also ensuring these amenities meet Shaw's unique student typologies, whether it's, a first-year college student, someone that's a career switcher, or someone that, is coming back to get their second or third degree. We want to ensure that these amenities speak to those student typologies. Also, we hope that this project will raise Shaw's profile, in the RDU area and nationwide. And then lastly, we want this district to essentially reinforce the physical, social, and professional connections to the community at large. So these are, just a few of the things that from, top of mind, 30,000 foot view, if these things are happening throughout this process, this gives us a good indication that we're moving in the right direction. Okay. And that's all I have for you. It's pretty quick. Again, I didn't want to take up too much time just reciting what was already mentioned in the RFQ, but did want to just kind of, use this as an opportunity again to introduce ourselves, but then add some broader context. There were a few questions coming into this regarding just kind of awareness of who all, may have received the RFQ. We will distribute the list of folks who attended this meeting. We will not distribute the list of everyone who received the RFQ, but we will distribute the list of folks who attended the meeting today. The meeting was also recorded, so I'll just double check internally if we'll be able to share that recording with you all. But now would be a good time if you have any questions to ask that. And I think we're clear for questions. Kevin, you let me know
if you'd like to submit a question, if you could use the Zoom dashboard under reactions to raise your virtual hand so that you can be acknowledged, and then unmute your mic and ask your question. Thank you.
So thank you, Michael. So before we have questions, there's a couple other points I just want to make sure. And I was looking at the RFQ. It's pretty comprehensive. But one of the big things that came out of the rezoning, which is recent, and so for all of you have been aware, know of these things and what they're like. Ours started actually last July, and it took almost a full year to finish it. And so one of the things that came out of it was the importance of Shaw as a place, the history of it, of course, but the importance to the alumni and to the community about sort of Shaw keeping its special place. And so that sort of understanding of it is really important to us and to the community. Two is we have significant historical buildings on campus. We are currently in the midst of a campus-wide, I'm trying to get the right name, the historic campus-wide stewardship plan that has been funded by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. That is going to help inform the master planning process. That should be done probably at the end of this year. And so that will help go into the master plan. So there is some things in works. We also have commissioned and are just finishing up a campus-wide space study. So we're going to have some information for for everyone going in. We're not going to provide it now when I don't actually even have it, but we're going to have some things already sort of in place for you. You're not going to come into this process blind. Thank you.
See, we got Churchill.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking my question. Thank you, Mr. English. Just a more so housekeeping issue. For any questions that come up that'll be answered for the deadline, are we to email them to you and to Mr. English, or to you and Mr. Sullivan, or CC? What's the best mode to do that?
Yeah. As long as both of us are included.
Okay. And then the follow-up question for the proposals that are due on the 24th, are they to be sent electronically or snail mail or overnight mail?
Electronically.
Awesome. All right. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Aubrey Grant.
Hi, Aubrey with the voting. Do we have to attend both days for the walkthrough, or it's either or?
Either or.
Okay, great.
And it's not mandatory, but either or.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Last call for questions. If not, we will break here and give you guys back some more time. Unless Kevin, you've got anything. If not, we can let everyone go.
Yvonne, is there anything you want to say? You're on mute. Let me unmute you, Yvonne.
Okay, no, other than the history is not, it's not just Shaw, but it's the Shaw and the Black diaspora. So we have to be conscious of all of that when we're doing this. And I'm sorry, I've been kind of moving around because I just got off a plane and I just walked in my house. So, but I'm glad we're doing this. And if y'all need anything dealing with the community, don't hesitate to give me a call.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I think we'll go ahead and break here. Again, thank everyone for joining us today. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Kevin and I. Thank you.
Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.